British Prime Minister Theresa May led a delegation of ministers and business leaders to China this past week, signing trade deals worth $12.7 billion, hailing a golden era of Sino-British relations. Her ambassador earlier outlined Britain's hopes of cooperating in China's One Belt, One Road initiative.
The first is we'd like to collaborate on practical projects. The second area where we'd like to collaborate with China is bringing some of our City of London financing experience, because these projects are big projects, particularly in infrastructure. They require complex funding mechanisms.
Too complex, according to some. Soaring above the swamp between Uganda's capital and its airport, this new 51-kilometre expressway is due to open in May. It was built by the China Communications Construction Company, and its $580 million cost was met with a loan from Beijing. Kampala's mayor says the price is too high.
Even these Chinese who are coming here from even the commercial banks we are borrowing from, Exim banks and whatnot, the burden will finally come on our shoulders as Ugandans. So our children and grandchildren will have to shoulder this burden, which is very, very unfortunate.
China has invested across Africa, Asia and the Middle East under the One Belt initiative, and even into Eastern Europe. Britain should tread carefully in its dealings, says Barnaby Willits-King of the Overseas Development Institute.
Particularly in fragile parts of the world where China's Belt and Road initiative is going to be running through, there are a lot of potential risks around humanitarian concerns, environmental concerns that I think focusing just on a trade deal might overlook. But it's also got an advantage. The UK has worked and invested in a lot of these countries over the years, and it could actually provide some very practical advice to China.
The US has gone further in its criticism of China's trade and foreign policy. US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson offered a warning ahead of a trip to Latin America Thursday.
China, as it does in emerging markets throughout the world, offers the appearance of an attractive path to development. But in reality, this often involves trading short-term gains for long-term dependency.
Many emerging economies welcome China's investments and the involvement of countries like Britain. But there are concerns that mounting debts will cause big problems further down the road. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.